What's up guys, it's Oblivious Gamer here, and well, this is my review on Samurai Maiden. Now, I'm not a person who really seeks out games with fan service or I enjoy them for that. To be honest, I have played some, but a lot of these types of games I have played, I end up enjoying a lot the gameplay and having fun with them, like Sandra Kagura, Kandagawa Jet Girls, Onechambara Origins. The recent game that I did was like AG's Concerto, which I'm probably butchering the name, but I had a lot of fun with that game. So when I saw Samurai Maiden, I was interested in it. However, now that I have played the game, I have to say it hasn't been enjoyable, at least for me. I think there is people out there who will enjoy the game and its gameplay, but sadly, I am not one of those. I found the gameplay to be really slow, clunky, and boring, fighting a lot of the same enemies who feel like sponges, and to be honest, the story for me wasn't interesting. Now, before I continue, if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe. The game here does contain a story. However, for me, it's pretty boring. Maybe it will be something you will be enjoying. In the game, you play as Tsumugi Tamaori, a high schooler who lives in the 21st century, and suddenly out of nowhere she's transported to the Sengoku period, where there she meets none other than Oda Nobunaga. Tsumugi from there meets three ninjas, Ayo, Hagane, and Komimi. Ayo, one of the ninjas, claimed that Tsumugi is actually a descendant of the Priestess of Harmony, who is there to vanquish the demons or at least help them against the demons. At least that's what she claims in one of her dreams. Now, as the story starts, Tsumugi realizes that the enemies that she's seeing are not actually humans, but demons. So she's given a sword capable of exercising them, and on to battle she goes. She actually knows how to wield the sword because apparently she practiced it in her youth. Eventually, as they are progressing, they deduce that they're trying to revive the demon lord. So Tsumugi and the ninjas team up to try to prevent that from happening. However, an unforeseeable twist occurs. Will Tsumugi be able to prevent the demon lord from being revived? Only time will tell. And that's basically the plot. In all honesty, it wasn't interesting to me. The game is divided in chapters. Every chapter starts with a dialogue scene at the beginning and then a dialogue scene at the end, and they can be quite long. Of course, a lot of the plot will also revolve on Tsumugi getting closer to the three ninjas. And not just that, but she will be able to go on side missions with each of them with the point of getting to know them better and deepening their relationship. Through and through, I really didn't care about the story. I found it boring, and I was like, I guess this side parts of getting to know each of the girls and them getting to know Tsumugi, it's okay, but I was just not having it. But I do want to say I do like the way a lot of the dialogue scenes are animated with the characters being very expression. I was surprised. They're not stiffless or they're not emotionless, but they at least showcase a lot of it, even though some could be exaggerated. Now, when it comes to gameplay, I think the game is fairly simple. You have a light attack, you have a heavy attack, a evade button, and an assist button, which each ninja has their own assist to help you in battle. So 3 ninjas, 3 different assists. The ninjas each have an affinity to an element, and as I mentioned, they have their own move to do. You will also be able to do shortcuts, so you can only manually select one of the girls to help you out, and that's the assist. However, there is a shortcut button that you can press to, even if you haven't selected one of the girls, you can just do their move. In all honesty, the combat for me, at least, it didn't feel fun. It felt like a drag. It is very slow. I guess you could say it tries to be a pseudo Souls-like game, if that would be the best way I could put it. You will be doing a lot of evading and figuring out the patterns of your enemies to know when can you attack them and when you have to dodge. You don't really get a lot of health. Like, you have two ways to get your health back up. You have to find checkpoints, and that's how you regain your health, or by using a health urn, which you only carry two, and only one of the ninjas can use it. So Io, she's the only one capable of like putting the urn out, so you'll be able to get health. So you have to manually switch to Io and be able to like put the urn, because it's considered one of her ninja tools. Also, if you die, the first time you get sent back to the last checkpoint you were on, and if you die a second time, you will have to restart the level. Also, a lot of the enemies just feel like massive sponges. I mean, there's some that don't have any health bar, and you just have to keep attacking them, hoping they eventually go down and they stop spawning minions that overwhelm you, because that's also what they do while you're fighting this enemy that is a massive sponge. They just keep spawning minions that are really annoying, and they spawn a lot of them. Now, Tsumugi can get powerful too, so you're not just stuck with the same things. She doesn't level up, but doing missions, you can get like these orbs that are currency that you can use to level Tsumugi's sword. For the first sword that you can get a max level is like 30, and I managed to max it like, I would say when I was like 70% done with the game. The other way you level up is by leveling up your relationships with the other girls. You level the relationship by using their moves in battle and like having them with you when you're like fighting an enemy. They start at level 0 and they can go all the way to 100. And there's like a milestone which is like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. If I'm not mistaken, there is 12 moves, or every time you reach a milestone, you will get a ability, a extra bar for the assist, or a weapon. You'll be able to level up 12 times each of the girls' relationship bar. Plus, you also unlock a dialogue scene too that you can watch and see how like the girls get to know each other and improve their relationship. Now, leveling up the ninjas is not that hard in all honesty. I didn't have trouble like trying to like, was I focusing too much on one of them and not like dividing my time? Like, I really wasn't paying attention, and like I managed to level them up all well together. Eventually though, as I reached the end, I ended up leveling Komimi faster just because her assist I just felt was more useful in combat, especially when you're being overwhelmed by constant minions that just some bosses spawn. So I just like end up spamming her assist so much because it's just so good to clear out the area and does a bit of damage. Eventually, once you reach a certain point in the story, you unlock the Devoted Heart gauge, which when it's full, you can activate it, and Tsumugi borrows the strength of one of the ninja girls. And to be honest though, I feel the game works the best when you are using these abilities because it's just super fun. Tsumugi just has different moves and her movement is also a lot better. It's just funner once you have finally this special that you can unlock. Also, this is the super or special where you get to see these cutscenes. Also, as you improve your relationship with the girls and increase it to 100, the cutscene that plays when you use Devoted Heart does change. Missions are all the same. You go from point A to point B, fight a boss, and that's it. Enemies are very repetitive. You will be seeing a lot of the same enemies. And some, especially like the bigger ones, just feel like damn sponges. And they don't have a health bar and can take some time to eliminate them. There's also like the side missions which I mentioned, and a lot of the side missions that you can do, which are like missions that you unlock through the milestones in the relationship with the girls, they have combat, but they're more puzzle oriented. Like there's some puzzles you have to solve to get to the end, and I thought that was a bit more interesting and fun than the normal missions that you have to do in the story. So I was just wondering, like, they should probably done a bit more puzzles or something, because it's very straightforward, this game. I know this is an action game, and maybe it was advertised as a Souls-like game, I don't know. But the problem is Sumugi just doesn't feel that strong or doesn't feel that good to play, and you have to build her up. And yes, she eventually gets moves that makes her not as weak and a little bit more fun to play, but that happens like once you reach like the middle point of the game, and even as you keep unlocking skills, you reach the end. So you really have to build, and I feel she's just not built properly. Like, I feel the team could have given us a lot of these moves that she eventually gains at the beginning to make her more fun and just make something more creative that she unlocks. But again, because of the nature of how the game plays, maybe it's done because of this, because as I said, it's much slower. This is not a like hack and slash game. There's a lot of evading you will have to do. There's a lot of like paying attention to the moves that your opponents do. And also there's a factor that at the end of every chapter or mission you will be graded. So there's the element of like, oh, you coming back and getting a better grade, and obviously trying the level in different difficulties. To be honest, I was expecting at least to have fun with the game. I mean, I really didn't care too much about the fan service, and I really wasn't expecting anything from the story. But throughout my time with this game, I just felt it was tedious, boring, and like a chore, which I am glad it's over. I finished the game and I don't have to play it ever. So is this game worth $59.99? And I would say, as I mentioned, I think there will be a group of people that would definitely find this game enjoyable. It's just not me. So for me, I think the game is worth if it's on sale. Right now, the game is being sold as a full price game, $59.99. And to be honest, I don't think it's worth it. I think if this game is sold at like $30 or even $40, maybe you should get it. But through and through, the fan service, at least I don't think it's like a huge thing to be a selling point. The gameplay is a bit clunky, not that fun, repetitive enemies, sponges. I think if you're curious, wait for a sale, or if you're like me, somebody who you were just curious about the gameplay and the style, not much about the fan service, just wait for a sale. Or just don't get the game. Like, you're not missing out much here. This is not something that's gonna be changing anything, or it's gonna be an amazing experience. So yeah, I usually try to be a bit positive with a lot of these games. This is the first time where one of these types of games just disappoints me a lot. But it is what it is. It's just my opinion. People are gonna have different opinions. Maybe you do end up liking the game compared to me. So as always, it's not just about me. What are your thoughts, guys? Have you tried Samurai Maiden? Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. This has been Oblivious Gamer, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are.